you're seeing some real divergence between European policymakers and then German automakers. What can you tell us about it?
Right, exactly. I mean, if this is exposing the rift between China and the EU, it also exposes some of the more minor rifts within the EU itself. You know, we understand that this was pushed for really by France, and you can understand why. They do about 90 billion euros worth of trade with China last year. Germany did 300 billion. And when you look at the car makers, it's even more exaggerated. Renault only gets about 6% of its revenues from Asia Pacific. For the big three in Germany, it's more than a third of the volume that they do. Now, they have some joint ventures over in China, which means that those would be spared from tariffs under this scenario. However, the super high margin cars, the Porsches, the Maybachs, S-Classes, 7 Series, those ones are assembled, many of them here in Germany and in Europe, and then shipped over. So if you get some tariffs and some trade barriers coming up, it's going to hit those profit centers of those extremely high margin, extremely expensive cars.
And at the same time, we're not just talking about tariffs when China and the EU, the UK also a factor there. Why do we pay attention to the EV story here in the UK? This is spilling over all over the place. Basically, if nothing happens by the end of the year, you're going to get 10% tariffs on EVs that go across the channel. Why? They have these rules of origin rules that are going to come into power at the end of the year if they don't change anything, which means that if 45% of the value of your car was not produced in either the EU or the UK, it gets slapped with a 10% tariff. Now, the problem is EVs, most of the cost of an EV is a battery, and no one's really producing batteries on that kind of volume in Europe. So these things will automatically get hit. So the EU is saying we don't want to change the rules because we think that this will delay getting supply chains and batteries in order. The UK and the auto industry are saying, listen, it's already hard enough for us to make this transition. The last thing we need is some more self-imposed hurdles. So the negotiators are going to be speaking today on the EU and the UK side to try to delay this for 3 years or not, and that's going to be the debate.